caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the...
What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. And in today's video, I'm doing something that I've never done before. So this will be the first time for this, might be the only time for this, but I'm going to actually be doing a book review instead of a film review. And there's a few reasons for that. So many months ago, I was on a podcast with Forever Entertainment that was done by Anthony Caimano and co-hosted with Brandy McKenzie. We got to talk to a gentleman based out of New York. His name is Lucian Di Giallarnado. And if I pronounce that wrong, Luci, I apologize. You got to know your name's not easy to pronounce. But I got to do a podcast with him through Forever Entertainment. Thanks to Anthony, and co-hosted with Brandy, and talked to Lucci about his new book called A Howling in Brooklyn. And I was so enamored with Lucci as a person, and the book, the story sounded so incredible that I had to check it out. So I ordered it probably the next day after I got off of the podcast and ordered the book and had it shipped in. And I'm happy to say that I've now read the book, and it's amazing. And thought I would just do a review on A Howling in Brooklyn, this is the special edition. This one's got a prologue or a forward to it from Lucci, thanking a lot of the podcasters and people that he was able to do interviews with, try and spread the word. The book's actually available. You can get it through Barnes & Noble. You can get it on Amazon Prime. You can go directly to Luciano's website and order directly from there. But if you like werewolf stories, this is a really good one to read for a lot of different reasons. So first off, the storyline is very original. Basically, you have Detective Danny Marko trying to take on the mob inside of Brooklyn. It's basically where he grew up. So, homegrown detective trying to take down the mob that's kind of ruining his hometown. And unfortunately, at some point throughout the book, ends up getting into a confrontation with a werewolf and then starts exhibiting symptoms of becoming a werewolf, and now has to struggle with trying to take on the mob and becoming a werewolf, and a bit of a relationship in there with a female. I don't want to give too much away in the way of the plot. Because I really want people to actually read this book. It's really good. And I've never done a book review, so I'm not really sure how I should go about doing a book review. But the storyline, it's really cool. As far as the actual, we can't go over anything like filmography and audio and stuff like that. But as far as for me, and I've been pretty open about my struggles with reading. I'm dyslexic, mostly dyscalculia. It really affects me more with numbers than it does actual words. The letters sometimes in the words get transposed, but I'm 45 at this point. I pretty much know what the word is. I also do predictive reading. So if I can make out the first few words of a sentence, I can pretty much put the rest of the sentence together. But that being said, even with my dyslexia, this book wasn't very difficult for me to read. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, it's not super descriptive in, I'll give you an example. Like, if you've ever tried to read like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, that's a hard book to read on a good day, even if you're a good reader. And her type of writing is very descriptive. She took a whole page to basically describe the forehead of Frankenstein. Lucci doesn't do that. Lucci's book is much more fast-paced. The descriptive writing is enough to paint the picture, but not so in-depth that you get lost in the description itself, and that I can appreciate. But the pacing of the book is incredible. It actually reads a lot like a movie script. This could very well easily be transformed into an action flick. The way it's paced, the way it's presented, a lot of the stuff that's going on. And what I also like about this is that Lucci himself is from Brooklyn. So a lot of the places in the book are places that he's been in real life. He's grown up in these neighborhoods. So Danny Marko, not that he is Lucci in the book, but Danny Marko grows up in this Brooklyn neighborhood. So if you're from the Brooklyn area, you're going to get a sense of that hometown feeling with some of the places that Danny Marko has to go. And if you're not from Brooklyn or have never been there, you can actually feel the love that Lucci has for the area. And that comes through in the character of Danny. So you're actually going to kind of feel a little bit homegrown in this book as well as you're reading it. So very well done as far as the pacing goes. The descriptive reading, the descriptive part, it's enough to paint the picture. You don't really have to fill in any blanks, but it's not so descriptive that you get lost in the description itself. And the pacing, like I said, is amazing. Now, I know Lucci, when we talked on the podcast, had ambitions of actually trying to bring this to life in a movie format. And he's almost doing that, not quite there, but they are doing an animated version of this book. So we are going to do a little bit of a box opening, if you will, because I did order this from Lucci, his website. So we're going to open this up here. It's actually a bookmark that that I ordered that actually has some tap technology, which I'll tell you about here in a hot second. But I want to open this up real quick because the bookmark, it's not like a flimsy bookmark. This is like hardened plastic, and it's even got the protective cover on it. So hardened plastic, and it's available in 4 different colors, and it actually has tap technology. It says tap here. That tap technology you can use on your phone, and it'll actually take you to the application to apply to do the voiceover work in some regard for the animated film. So they're going to be doing like open auditions. If you order the bookmark, you can fill out the application, and then when it's time for auditions, they're going to send you an email, which is, to my understanding, they're supposed to be doing that sometime this fall. So it's coming up. Summer is going to be ending soon. Surprisingly, it's already July. Hard to believe, but yeah, this is actually a pretty nice bookmark. Like I said, it's hardened plastic. It's from MCM Prints. Like I said, it comes in 4 different colors. I got the blue because I like the blue on the black, but you can get it like red on black, and I think there's even a black version with a different silhouette to it. So a Howling in Brooklyn exclusive content. So I don't know what much else to say in regards to reviewing a book, other than I really enjoyed it. Um, a really, really good read. It's a really good werewolf story. Danny Marko goes through a lot. You want to talk about a complete and comprehensive character arc. You've got this hardened, gritty detective trying to take on the mob. The mob boss is a guy you're not going to like. Um, Lucci did a really good job of writing that guy as somebody you're just going to have a disdain for, and you really want to see things come, Danny come out on top of everything. But then he's also struggling with this transformation process of becoming this werewolf, and has to battle, that internally as well. So a very complete character in the form of Danny Marko. The mob boss is he's just a dick. There's no other way to put it. He's a guy you're not going to like. Um, and like I said, it's a really good story. It's a very comprehensive synopsis on the back. I'm not going to read it to you guys because I don't have my glasses on. Unfortunately, I'm getting old and need them. Um, but man, it's he's engaged to be married. While all of this is happening, um, it's just a lot for Danny to deal with. And I really do think this would make a really, really good film. Um, if anybody ever wanted to try and get with Lucci to try and make that happen. I'm looking forward to seeing the animated version. I mean, let's face it, with animated cartoons, obviously it's going to be a little bit more adult oriented because, kind of like adult anime, not in the weird sense, but like blood, gore, werewolf transformation. So there's a lot you can do with the animated version. Um, but guys, I'm going to leave a link for Lucci's website. You can go there. You can order shirts. You can order posters. You can order the book. You can get stuff signed. Get yourself the bookmark with the tap technology if you want to try and do the voiceover work for a Howling in Brooklyn when it comes out. So look forward to that. So go follow along Luciano Di Giallarnado. Go follow Forever Entertainment, Anthony Caimano, and Brandy McKenzie. And a big shout out to them for letting me be a part of the podcast on that fabled night where I got to co-host and fill in and just happened to talk to Lucci. And like I said, so enamored with the guy, super nice guy, really easy to talk to. And I think the best thing about this is that he didn't have any prior writing experience. Lucci was just like, had this idea in his head and he wanted to get it out and put it on paper. And once he started writing it, he just couldn't stop until it was done. And I think he's done a phenomenal job. He's going to do book signings in New York. Like I said, it's available at Barnes and Noble. I mean, it's awesome that to be a part of that podcast and that interview process and hear how he made this come to life. And so a big thanks to Anthony Caimano, Brandon McKenzie, and Forever Entertainment for letting me be a small part of that. So guys, like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see everybody in the next video.